Welcome once again to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host with the most, A.D. Walker. Blessings to you, Lisa. Thank you for sharing. Keita in the building. Great morning to you. Thank you guys for being here, rocking, hanging, chilling. Remember that term, chilling like a villain. All right, let's get into this. We're gonna have a great conversation. It won't just be me today. Praise the Lord. Let's do this. Play this file. I have my current theme. Let's keep that up there so you guys knows what's going down. Boom. Changing the mindset of our community. Part Trey. All right, let's do this. All right. So we are back. Listen, this is your opportunity to share. Make sure you share. If you're part of our text community, make sure you share that text with the world and let everybody know that the brothers are in the building, as well as share in Facebook land. Make sure you inbox everybody until they threaten to put you in Facebook jail. Get right to the line. If you get put in jail, I got you. I'll put something on the books. So make sure you're sharing. Tag somebody to be a part. And let's have we're gonna have a great conversation. Today we are talking about, can you trust your community with your money? Can you trust your community with your money? We want to begin to break down some of the barriers that we have with trusting our community and initially stepping into risk, because there's never a sure thing. There's never a sure thing, period. Back in the day before 2000, 2006, 2007, everyone was like, real estate is 100% safe. But as we know, it is surely not. So we're going to kind of dig into the trust factor in our community, and can we let down our guards enough to really get into group economics, because that is what we are pushing towards. That's what we talked about yesterday, group economics, and we pooled our money together. Today, I want to kind of talk about the trust. Some of the comments that was put up yesterday kind of made me think a little bit about what our focus is. And I'm going to dig into that in a minute. All right. I think my brother from another mother's ready. It looks like he's preparing. He's shifting. He got the headphones on. Just waiting for the thumbs up. All right. Let's get him in here. My brother, Mr. Rations.
What it do?
What's up, E?
What's going on?
Good, brother. All right. So yeah, like I said, today we're talking about, can you trust your community with your money? And we're going to dig into that conversation. Let's see. Oh, Tim said, that's the hope, to be able to trust my community. I hope so. Time will tell. I'll keep you posted. Good morning, Miss Yvonne. All right, so let's go ahead and drop this intro, dig into this conversation. And I'm looking for the feedback. And listen, like I said, tag some people. I know you know people that you've had this conversation with, argued with some folk about, so bring them in. We want to have an open conversation, a real one, because every conversation I love to have is to move our community forward. And I've told this story probably several times about watching panels in the 90s, and everybody wants to discuss the problems, but no one wants to talk about a solution or what's the next move. Everybody wants to spout the statistics of why we struggle and what we're going through, and 20% in jail and 30% on poverty, but no one ever wants to discuss solutions. So this platform is about solutions, about growth, about us moving forward. All right. So let's have them difficult conversations, those uncomfortable conversations, and we can argue. Let's get at it. But in the end, we'll hit some level of resolve. Like, I don't totally agree, but I hear you. So, all right, let's get into it. And this is your opportunity to share. So we'll be right back. All right. Good morning. And welcome
to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy.
There we go. Yeah. Back in the day. All right. All right. All right. Good, Ephraim. I'm glad you inboxed me that little tidbit. I was trying to see if that actually worked.
Okay.
Side note that just sometimes comments are distracting to everybody. So
yeah,
protect my guests sometimes. Take it off. Then they ain't got to say crazy.
Yeah. So crazy do exist.
Like you talking, somebody says something crazy. Like, should I respond? Don't respond. Not worth it. Don't respond.
Right.
And I've been doing it a while, so when I see crazy, I know how to kind of like keep going.
Yeah.
like in your head, you're like, people just say anything online. Anyway, so we're talking about, can you trust your community with your money? And yesterday I opened up the conversation about group economics, pooling our money together, and kind of doing a mock of if you was in a session where someone wanted to pool money together to get into real estate, we talked about the questions and I asked all the questions, and and someone had put let's see, hey Mama Corey.
Hey, Mama.
And let me preface by saying I get like sometimes you want to try to mitigate loss, and you want to be sure that whoever is handling the business is in the right mindset.
Right.
And someone had put they wanted to make sure that they're not an atheist, and I get it, because you would like to have somebody of faith, handling that has the principles of Christ kind of foundation. And I get it, like you hope so, but if you've been in church long enough, saved folk that are still sketchy. like I can't say they're not going to heaven, but all I can say that I don't know if I can trust them with $100,000 in their hand. They can handle the couple of dollars to go to the store for the church, but to handle money going from in that 100,000 to investment, I don't know if they have the capacity to do the right thing, So, but like I said, she said it yesterday, and I get it though. Like you're trying to find a way to trust, and when you're first saved, that's what you think. Like, man, they saved? Oh, high five, you good money. You Jesus just co-signed on your character,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He said, but they definitely gonna barely make it right. But because and it's funny, like you have jobs and you work different places. You meet somebody, and the first thing they say they're a Christian. I used to get excited, but now if someone leads off with that, I side at them like, generally it's like I watch E for a while and I see his character, and then it was like he go to church. I'm like, I see you have principles and foundation. Like we discover that you're a Christian. You don't usually lead with it. And to me, I'm be honest, and I know this kind of side. Anyone that leads with it, I'm a believer. I didn't ask that. That conversation even start there, because it seems like you gotta okay, you're gonna cover for your shadiness. Because in history, everyone that's ever led with it, they always, I'm like, man, you making us look bad.
Yeah.
making us look bad. So anyway, so today, like I said, we're talking about trust in your community with your money, investing. If you watch enough news, yeah, he said be easy on our folks. Right?
Tell them, Sam. they mean well. Hey,
so,
AD, define trust for me though.
Define trust. Trusting is, I give you a presentation or I show you something and you trust what I say, trust that what I'm offering you is based on the knowledge that I know, because like I started off saying, you can't, there's always risk in everything, even like selling, like if you were buying a car from me, there's always a risk, but you're trusting me to tell you everything that I know that I've seen about the car. I've been can you give them your money, invest? Yeah. Can you give them your money, invest with them?
Okay. But I'm just trying to sure up. So are we talking like just like the trustworthiness, the honesty? Or are we talking like capability? Do I trust their capability or do I trust their character? Ooh. Which one we asking?
We could start off. I would think it's almost one and the same, but yeah, can you trust that? Because the character, and the capability to me would be rolling hand in hand. Like you asked me, hey, can you actually do this? Like, what's your experience with this? And I'm truthful. Like, I can. I just started this thing like 2 months ago. So I either went to a class or read a couple of books, but this is what I know. And I hit you in the head with enough information that you're like, okay, like past YouTube knowledge, like it looks like you've actually got a little hands-on, and from there you kind of have to make that judgment. Like I can tell you, like I'm confident in this space right here because I'm either working with somebody or I can handle it, or you ask me and I'm like, like if I sold you the car, I'm like, listen, take the car to a mechanic, like I don't want to sell you a lemon. It's been good for me, but it could be like this way, this close to just breaking down because, I'm not a mechanic. The way it rides is good. It's every once in a while you try to crank it. It does something. Doesn't mean it's bad. I just don't know. So I think it's in character and capability. Like, like I'm selling you the car and I'm not a mechanic. I made that clear, in this transaction, so I think, so I think it encompasses all. Listen, right, my community trusts me. That can, right, and that too, who around me can kind of vouch. You know how you about to do business. You ask somebody like you ask Pastor, like Pastor, what's up with AD? You got those moments like if you get excited about something, it's like I need to ask people around you. Like what's up with
the references for sure.
Right. Right. You ever get those? Man, they dope, but they always late.
Yeah.
Yo, they're incredibly talented, but they always late. Yeah. Or like, they're okay, but they're faithful. They're gonna be there till it's done. So you need to watch them a little bit, things of that nature. So I think that kind of trust, that does make a difference as well. That the references. So yeah, in the investing space, let's go back to this one. Can you give them your money and invest in them? Do you and keeping it real, like what's your apprehension? And let's throw a slightly big number. Let's throw like $1,000, right? Investing in. What is it that you feel just off the cuff will kind of make you feel comfortable? And everybody else chime in. Like if we're investing somewhere, what can make you feel? And we kind of talked about yesterday with transparency, track record. Well, one person said, make sure they're not an atheist. But I get it. Listen, I'm with you. You're trying to find something to mitigate risk. That's a rough one,
okay. No, that's a good. I'm glad that's a good side. I'm glad you said that because it sounds churchy when they say it, but like that's what they're trying to do, right? They're just trying to lessen the risk. But okay, but let me just poke a hole in that real quick. All I'm saying is there's a certain community that is known for capital acquisition. They get money, they move it. They're well connected with it, and that particular community, no matter what the Bible says about them, they don't really believe in a lot of Christian principles, right?
Okay.
So, but they just have they operate with a lot of strong money principles. You know what I'm saying? So somebody can not be a believer in what you believe in, but truth be told, AD, some people who aren't believers kind of operate the biblical principles a little stronger than some believers, to be honest with you.
Don't do that, Sam.
So it don't feel good on this side, Sam. So it's just, like, I feel what you're saying though, but that's a good way to look at it. They're just trying to lessen the risk, right?
Right.
And then when it's your money and you don't like something, you don't like the way the man got dressed and you don't want nobody having your money that look this way and stuff like that. Right. It's a difference. If you look into real estate, when you flipping or when you selling multi-million dollar houses, right, that agent needs to represent kind of what you're buying, right? So I expect a duplex in the hood agent to look a little different than West Hollywood agent, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
Because you got to come with it. You got to pick me up in a different kind of car. It got to be like a whole thing. I'm spending a lot of money, so you got to represent that. So, and so clothes can seem like a small thing, but in that large of a purchase, it can be a big thing. So I'm with all low under risk.
I hear you.
It's hard. Go ahead.
It's funny that you talk about the way you look, the cars and stuff. I don't know if you guys ever saw that show American Greed.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of swindles, and one dude was like, how could I not sign that contract? We was 30,000 feet in his private jet. He's like, I was so swooned. I just was mystified. I didn't even really look at what I was signing. I just was like, oh, this man can do it for me, Yeah.
And all that's intimidation.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Well, not really, because I know you think, if someone says, comes to your house, let me show you how to make $1 million, and they look like $1 million. It's like, it's in your mind, like, I want to look like him. I want to be able to drive what he driving, And
Sam said earlier, man, no matter who, no matter what, time will tell.
Right. Like
you said, you watch American Greed, right, you're going to see a few Ponzi scams on low end, and some of them will be of our community. Right. But 95% of that show going to be of another community. You feel me? Yes, holla at me, Bernie Madoff. You feel me? So he swindled millions. You know what I'm saying? So trust goes past ethnicity. You can go to other races and just find people that you just can't trust, right?
Right.
Because greed has no race. It has no color. Right. So people get greedy and they take advantage of moments and situations.
Right.
People during the Afghan war, tragic as it might have been, a lot of people made a lot of money, right? People take advantage of situations. Yes. And we're in American, capitalism is real, so I'm not coming for anybody, because if this market drops, I don't want to see anybody put out their house, but I'm trying to flip property, right? So this might be a time for me. So I'm trying to take advantage of a moment, right? So I'm not coming for anybody for that, but the truth is time will tell all, but more directly with our community, we have some opportunities. So let me just start off and say, yes, you can trust some in our community, right? In general, there are some that can't be trusted, but there are still some people in our community who have good principles, good character, do right by your money. Integrity is probably what we're really talking about, right? So they have that, and for me, if I find that person, I would prefer to give my $1,000 to that person of my community. Ultimately, I'm trying to keep some pork chops on the table, so I got to give it to whoever I feel the most comfortable with it, because I'm not a multimillionaire. I'm not even a thousandaire. So I have to be careful with my investments, especially early on, because when I'm giving my $1,000 out to somebody I trust, I'm also asking my family to learn how to trust me. Now, see, we're gonna give Daddy $1,000 and he know what to do with it. Oh, that boy can get some money. He turned that $1,000 we gave him in this, or I can have a real bad judgment
Right.
You know, what we saw, what was that, Raising in the Sun and all, like we saw all these major investments.
Right.
What was he trying to do? Get rich quick? Nah. Well, maybe it could be seen that way, but he was trying to provide for his family, right?
Right.
So, you know, if I make a bad opportunity, if I make the wrong read in judgment and character,
right,
you know, now everybody getting one gift for Christmas, and you know what I'm saying? We doing what we got to do. And you know, it's trust is just it's hard to do because we work very hard for our money, right? We don't have play money,
right,
and anybody. I'm not a financial you know, man by any stretch of imagination, but I understand this principle in investing, that don't invest anything that you need, you know, like don't, if you can't afford to give that $1,000, if it goes belly up and you're going to miss that $1,000, then you didn't have it to invest at the level that you're comfortable investing. And you can invest at all levels, but you know what I'm saying? But like only invest where you're comfortable. You're like, you know, this $1,000 can't be rent money. It's a
right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's true. It definitely I said it yesterday. Thank you for reiterating that. Invest where you're comfortable. Invest where you're comfortable. Especially, you know, like those moments where it's unfortunate that, you know, well, I won't say unfortunate, I take that back. You know, like if you're at church and the person doing investment speaks to the pastor, like, hey, can I speak to your people about blah, blah, blah. And pastor may be all in, because it's almost like a cosign from pastor, you know, unless he get up and say, I'm still investigating myself, you know, like, unless he's clear, like, I'm not in on this yet, you know, like, so, you know, you take your time investigating as well, but I want to put it before you guys to have you have an opportunity to see what it is. Because, you know, it's great that, you know, like your local ministries and stuff give you an opportunity to see, to give you know, to make that money, to invest places that have maybe a greater risk, but a greater return, you know, and you won't have to wait decades to receive a return on it. It'll take months or year, you know, where it can happen. But definitely invest where you're comfortable. Also, to me, like, for all those that talk to people that think about doing presentations, don't come out with the lifestyle message, like, live a lifestyle, feel the freedom. Just you want to drive this Porsche, right? Get to what our money's going to do. like where I'm taking this money, is going here, and this is the return. I want to see dollar figures. Like, I need to,
because I might not even buy that car.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, assuming that's the life I want. You know
right.
Like, bro, like you saying with the preacher though, bro. Like, just because I know preachers got a bad knocking, so I hate to interrupt, but I'm just saying, well-meaning preachers, because there's been some on both sides, but well-meaning preachers are trying to bless their community.
Yeah, definitely.
Bless their congregation.
Definitely.
You know, I want to preach to you so your soul get right. I want to bring somebody in so your finances get right. Because if you start looking at the demographics, if you start going to the reports, if you start looking at the stats, these congregations not necessarily full of millionaires. You know what I'm saying? They're full of people who are on a lot of assistance, people who are in some tights, some check the checks. You know what I'm saying? And once again, I hope everybody understands I'm talking generalizations. Like, I know it's not everybody. I'm just saying, some of our churches have very strong, healthy congregations, right? But the pastor's just trying to help. And I would ask all those leaders just to make sure you do your research. You know what I'm saying? Who you bringing up in there? And a lot of pastors learned that, but they had to get burnt first. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't get on the preacher too tough, but
because I mean, you know, you see things that look right, and the person can sell it right, you know. And then, you know, when it comes to the reality of how money's going to happen or how it's going to come through, you know, things fall apart. So I'm definitely, and I hate it because you become skeptical. Now it's like, I can't hear anybody. And like what you were saying, E, like say you invested that $1,000 that was like, you didn't need it all, but you needed some of it. And then your girls remember the moment when it went bad, and you and Taj going through, because now, you know, when you lose, I'm frustrated, I'm mad, you know.
I'm big mad.
right
I wonder
everything you do getting on my nerve now, like, so and they remember that, like, oh, I'm never gonna invest.
Yeah.
Like it ruined our household.
I heard a woman say that she's never gonna get a credit card again.
Wow.
Like the tone she talked about it, like you could tell she really got burnt with it, right?
Right.
But even when she was saying it, I got that she was hurt. But I'm looking like, really, if you think back on it, was it the credit card's fault? Right. Or do you got to own some of that? Because credit cards aren't the devil. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not gonna change nobody. I know Dave Ramsey hate credit. I get all that.
Nope.
And I know it's a scam, it's a scheme, the interest is all that. But I'm saying some of the issue we had with credit cards.
Right.
I'm just asking. It's a question.
Right.
Was it all the credit card fault, or did, you know what I'm saying? Did we you overspend? You know what I'm saying? Not pay back on time? Like, was it? Did we own some of it? That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right. I definitely believe credit cards are a necessary evil, if everyone want to call it, but I think it's necessary. It's a necessary thing. One, having it, if something happens and you need a huge cash flow, you have credit available so that you can take care of business and then just pay off the emergency in steps, because when something happens to your car people like, I need all my money now. They don't take payments.
Bro, you know what some of that stuff is, and I mean, like, not a financial advisor by anyway, but like what the hard part with us with credit, we're trying to advance out of life. We're trying to get a home loan, live in the communities we do. We don't have much options. You feel me? Like, and then for me, that's what I'm saying. Them guys who come on talking all the Porsche and the Benz and stuff. I like nice cars. I like stuff. I get me something. I'm not trying to say it like that, but like, what I want from money is the options it presents.
Okay.
If I had a certain amount of money today, I can say, no, I'm not going to work today. Or I'm going to go in at 9 instead of 10. You feel me? Like, money has options. So some of this credit card stuff wouldn't be so bad if we can get the interest rates. What if you can get that Benz you see on TV?
Right.
For $199 down, like, you know what I'm saying, like the TV price, what you saw in the commercial. But when you go to the dealership, they're gonna be like,
your credit is,
I'm gonna need about $27,000 down, and then the interest rate gonna be, let's just put it at 30. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, so we when we come to the table often in general, I'm talking, we come to the table, we already losing. And it makes you feel sometimes like, dang, bro, I can't even. That's why sometimes people find it hard to invest. Invest what?
Right.
Like I'm check to check.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and then they hit me with these interest rates over the head, like, and then if you add somebody who paying late fees or behind on the bill, and everybody who's late on the bill isn't a bad person.
Right.
What happened when you got to choose between medication, food on the table, and then daycare?
Right.
Then that phone bill just gonna get pushed back one more week. You know what I'm saying? And I just pay the extra $30 to cut it on when I get to that. You see the choices people got to make, bro, compared to somebody out there.
But I think I realize it's how we start off. And we've talked about this before. Just out the gate. Instead of, we always start off kind of behind. Like we're not ahead of the game. It's like we start off check to check. And I think some of the issue that happens, period, like not even just our community, you get a raise and you raise up your lifestyle. You get a raise, you raise up your lifestyle, instead of get a raise and just
maintain your lifestyle.
Like when they got the hiring freeze or raise freeze, you have a lifestyle freeze. Like you're fine. Aren't you fine? You're good where you at, You're not, as long as no one's in the hood shooting up, and you gotta leave, when I get this raise, I'm out of this neighborhood, So,
but just having a plan for it, and I know this turning more financial, but I'm just saying, like, having a plan for it, like, when I get this next raise, I'm going to get out of this particular spot because it's just too much activity. Okay, I get that, you know what I'm saying, but like, I think more what you speaking is like legit lifestyle controllable stuff.
Yes.
So like, maybe we don't go get the $15,000 watch.
Right.
And if you like nice things, I'm not against that. Like, you know what I'm saying? People got different. You'll look at my budget and be like, bro, we can really cut back on this these lemon pepper every Friday. We really don't need. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So everybody has areas they can cut, right?
Yes.
But I'm saying, like, if you get a raise and then you go get life insurance on the kids, bet, cool. That's needed. You know what I'm saying? We burying too many people without money. Bet. we get that raise, then we move out of this community, we get that raise, we do this. Like there's lifestyle improvement things, but not necessarily, but everything shouldn't necessarily be on the flashy entertainment side of things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming for that.
That's where, instead of getting the flashy, taking that 15,000 and putting it into an investment, where it'll make you 15,000 without you having to work for it.
Yeah.
So you I think last year, Grant Cardone, he's like an investment guy, and was speaking to a rapper and telling him, stop living off the principal. Take that big money, put it somewhere, and live off the interest. I think a lot of times, and I'm with Dave Ramsey when he speaks about credit and buying luxury on credit. Like we shouldn't buy luxury on credit. I'm 100% with that. And just as a pause, I am not a financial advisor, but it's just my mindset. Don't live, you shouldn't live luxury on credit. Credit, I think credit is good for, like I said, emergencies. If you need to rent a car, you need to have credit. Having that credit card makes it easier. Hotels, having a credit card available.
You got a family issue back in New York. Last minute didn't know.
Right.
You take a plane ticket, car rent on the hotel. You already up to a stack. You feel me? So like it's needed. Yeah.
Right. Definitely. It's always good to have, just in case. But yeah, it's just the lifestyle. I think credit should be used for two things: emergencies and to invest. Use other people's money in investing. It kind of helps mitigate risk because it's not that $1,000 coming out of your pocket, and you can pay it back slow. So that and I'm not a financial advisor, but that's my thought, what I'm into.
Bro, go back 1 second to our community.
Yes,
and some of the things that can ease us through.
Yeah,
that will ease me through. Let me speak for me. All right. I think one of the strongest things, because we about gaining trust, right? But I wanted genuine trust. Like, don't hit me with the Instagram, YouTube.
Right.
Boy, you want to make $1,000 a day right quick? Like, don't that misses me. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand investing takes time.
Yes.
Some people have invested and had really great success for their first couple projects, and then things went down. So like people got different experiences, right? But like that for me, that doesn't grab me. Don't flash in the pan me. Let me know there's opportunity, things like that. But it got to feel real for me. It got to feel like something I can work and grind.
Okay.
I'm not to get rich.
So what would it look? Because I'm kind of with you too. Like if I hear about one opportunity to be free and take 100,000 vacations and your family, freedom, time, all that. I know. Okay, I know all that. I know. If I have it, I know I can have it. But what is it that you're selling? So you want to know. You want the meat and potatoes of what's it going to take for me to invest? What you selling, and what am I going to get back?
And not the clickbait, not the that little one liner that try. I'm not. People got to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to build a community, but like it just don't feel. Sometimes I don't know.
Because you hear it all the time. I think it's been worn out.
Man,
I tell people. I said it yesterday. I was like, I've been worn out from that. I've only got excited maybe like once or twice in the 90s when someone gave me an Amway video and I popped it in, and I was like, right. I can go on that vacation all the time. I can do work from there. I was like, wow, freedom. And then you just hear it over and over and over, and it's just like I want to know what the business is. What is it that I'm getting into?
And I want something real, and then that's on me to research. But I've never been. And then too, what get me with those people? What gets me with that hustle? One thing I say is like this: don't come off insulting. Oh, you going to work?
You're right.
Like yeah. Oh, you gonna clock in? Like yes. I have to plunge. Yeah, like come on, like don't make me feel stupid for working. I'm open for opportunities, investment. To get out of the 9-to-5 vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like I talked before about options, right? A lot of the options I want brings flexibility to my schedule. So I'm looking too, bro. Don't make me like kick me while I'm down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I'm about to go to work. Like, don't. Sometimes people come off and it just, to me, it's off-putting. I know they're trying to do like some reverse psychology motivation, like make you really think about it. But who is going somewhere for 40 plus hours a week, and it's not on their mind that that's where they're going. Like you don't have to. That's the to me. That's the obvious. They work under these crazy conditions sometimes. If they not at home, they out in the streets with the COVID.
Right.
You know, they in these crazy environments.
Right.
They're working for other people, and we all know how people can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they all adjusting in the world like we are. So they're well aware of the opportunities at their job, and everybody's not unhappy at their job too. You can be very like, I could be happy at my job and still want to do more, because even at a good job with a good environment, because the way I try to lead my people, I try to make it easy for them too, right? You know, so I want to provide a good environment, because it's a competitive market. People hiring everywhere, right? So I want to keep my people. But like I mean, like, I don't have to hate my job to want to do better for my life. Like, okay, maybe I can drive the Maybach and you know, still be happy where I'm at right now. Like I want to just do better in general. Like, so come to me like respecting my money.
Okay.
And just present the opportunity straight up. No gimmick, no get rich quick. Because like if that was the case, bro, like I'm just saying, I don't think I'd be talking to you. You can get you be all somewhere with Jeff Bezos. So don't oversell yourself, because to me it's a turnoff. You know what I'm saying? Like
so anybody in the audience, I want you to know, I want to ask that thing. So yesterday we asked what you're looking for. What are the things that you hate when someone's offering some level of opportunity? What is it that you hate hearing? You know, like Ephraim just said, don't, and I just put, don't knock the clock. You know, don't talk about my job. You know, don't talk about you stupid for working, because I've heard that too. Like, you're like,
you really gonna punch? Like,
stop punching that clock.
Oh, you really go to work? Like,
right.
I really work here, sir.
Right. So what are some of the things, like when someone's ever offered an opportunity or some investment or anything, you know, or those opportunities, business opportunities, you know, what is it that you hate hearing before they get to the meat and potatoes of exactly the reason that I took my day off to come here for? You know, like before we get to that part, like what is it you hate hearing that everyone likes to cover with? Because honestly, I'm tired of the story. Let's just get in here. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm glad you're here. I'm such and such, and this is the opportunity. Like, this is what we're doing. By the time you leave, this is what you're gonna know. You know, like something. I think I'm tired of the whole sales. You know,
and bro, they need to invest in themselves too. Like, don't be janky. Don't look crazy. Don't pull up in the hoopty.
Right.
And then you got this $1 million scheme and dream for me. Like, show me that you've invested in yourself. Going back to the real estate agent, right? If I'm gonna buy this property, I'm buying the property and not necessarily the agent. But like, you kind of need to represent the property I'm about to purchase. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know people can kind of feel a way about that, but mostly what I'm getting at is, you know, put on the good. And I'm not big on pushing labels.
Right.
I'm not. What she said?
He said the lies. You didn't quit your job to do this. You were fired. Right?
Real talk. Yeah. They be.
I would respect that. I respect that. I had a 9 to 5, then I got fired.
And I had to do what I had to do. And here I am.
And my firing, I found this opportunity.
Give me the genuine, man.
Right.
But like, it's just, it show a little bit in yourself.
Okay.
Have the business. Business cards might be dead. I don't know, but have some kind of business card.
Right.
Have some, you know, invest in a website. Websites are super affordable. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me be able to research you on my own.
Right.
Don't push me to like, hey, you can only talk to my cousin. Do not talk to my mama. Like, but if you ask my cousin, he'll guarantee it, man. But my mama, you know, me and her going through something. So don't ask her. Like, no.
Right.
That's who I want to talk to. Let me talk to your mama. You know what I'm saying? Because she gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just talk to people who are happy with you. I want to talk to people who've had your services, caught you on the good and bad days. And a bad review won't necessarily like. I want to see what happened bad in the review. Sometimes you can get a negative review, but it just kind of speaks to something, because anybody who has a business or anything like that, you should take that review and say, okay, I can do better. You know, but what does the review say? Does the review say y'all got roaches everywhere in the kitchen? Or the review say they was late with my order, nobody greeted me, they had to do that? You know, like, there's some rebounding type of reviews. So let me see that stuff. Make sure that kind of stuff is available. Have your technology, because the average guy, I wouldn't put that on people back in 98,
Right.
when nobody ain't know what URLs and websites.
Just,
we ain't know it
they
like
just
that.
trusted you. I'm looking at a flyer. I'm reading what you printed out.
Yes, sir.
It and was all the testimonies you printed. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's legit.
It was about the print. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call some references, but now, I can go on YouTube. I'm not looking for your likes, but I'm looking at the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, surround yourself, invest in your own self. How much money have you spent on this thing you're trying to present to me?
Right.
It's big.
No doubt. And if you got a video with your comments turned off, I'm questioning what's going on. What's going on? Like, where you got your comments turned off? You got 100,000 people that watched this video and you turn the comments off? Yeah. I'm questioning. I'm like, Ephraim, I got questions. So yeah, that is true. Like the references, the reality of what you're selling and who can you talk to about. And that makes, I'm about to dump on MLMs a little bit. That's the thing that used to drive me crazy about the MLMs. Like, yo, I got this opportunity. What is it? I need you to come watch it. Now it'd be like, watch this Zoom and then you'll find out. What's the name? Come watch the Zoom. I want to look at some website. I want to watch some videos. I know it's going to tell me it's scammy. I already know. I know because every MLM gets to scammy, but I want to get to the meat and potatoes of what exactly am I being asked to sell. And then I come watch the Zoom, because
Bro, you know what's kind of funny though? And speaking to the community.
Yes, indeed.
Like,
don't say
I'm quick. I would be, I hate to say quicker, but that's all I can think of. I would be quicker to invest in our community with a group than I would an individual. Is that weird?
Okay.
All right. So I take some other average Joes.
Okay.
And no disrespect, you and me.
I'm with you.
We blue collar buddies, right? We average Joe. We work. You ain't got no $1 million yacht, and I don't either, right?
Right.
So like, you say, hey, bro, me and the wife, we're gonna put up 1,000. How about you and your wife? Y'all put up 1,000.
Okay.
And that's the application fee to get a booth in the mall, and we gonna sell eyelashes out the vending machine. I don't know. But
I got you.
So what I'm saying? So I'll be like, okay. AD average Joe, man. I'm an average Joe. He ain't trying to play with his money. I ain't trying to play with my money. Okay, I don't rock with him a couple times. Yeah, you know what? I could do that. We got you see what I'm saying, bro? Like,
where it's more personal, like
a little more personal. I see where you come in. I see what we trying to do.
Even if you didn't know us, like you kind of knew us, but you didn't know us a whole lot. Like you,
I guess I gotta invest and know you a little bit too, because it's still a trust thing, right? But no matter how much I trust you, that's all I can think. And I don't know.
All right, go to
that wasn't a plug.
That was not a Terrell for the eyelashes out the
I don't even know if that's a thing.
he done came up with
it. It just came to my head.
Don't steal his idea. Eyelashes out the vending machine.
But it's like I feel. First of all, time is going to prove everything with everybody, right?
Right.
Same thing we do. We go vote for a president. We go vote for a mayor, alderman, whatever.
Right.
Time proves whatever.
Right.
Everybody makes promises up front.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So that's cool. So time is the true answer. But like, yes, when I come to you, I'm investing you a little bit. I want to know as much as I can. That's my business. What y'all into after 9 p.m. is none of my business. It has nothing to do with my investing.
Right.
You know, all that stuff, right?
Right.
But I want to know kind of how you get down, how you work, what's y'all intentions, do y'all have something on the line, blah blah blah. Right. But it's something about the group,
right,
of
like
people in my community that I be a little more.
One person, like, give me all your money, everybody, give me your money.
Because bro, we going to pay $2,000 for the application, right?
Right.
If I go at it alone, which some people choose to do, because some families have $2,000 to give, right?
Right.
But if I go at it $2,000, I can get burnt. But if I go at it with you, I only lose $1,000. You feel me? So we in it together, and then we find out, you know what, people don't want eyelashes out of a vending machine. So we learned the lesson. I lost $1,000. It ain't, you know what I'm saying, but it ain't really, a big loss. So I didn't get the biggest reward. I don't know how much you would sell that stuff for, but I also didn't lose as much as I would have lost either, right? So I just something about the group economics, the shared kind of, you trying to do better for your family, I'm trying to do better for mine, and it don't got to be couples. I'm just saying, but like,
no, that makes sense. Instead of individually or like you got one person up there, and each of us individually are giving to this one person. Say like a group of people, like, hey, We got these families. This is, and we're putting in. If you guys want to,
Yeah.
and I'm speaking to everybody else. Like, if you guys want to get in on this, boom,
Exactly.
this is the presentation. This is
Exactly.
what we're doing. This is.
It's 4 or 5 of us in the group.
And it making
And
it's making you feel more comfortable. It's like y'all are in.
Now me and AD can say, hey, bro, I noticed Pastor didn't kicking his money last month. Did you notice that? You feel what I'm saying? Now I got
Pastor, why you kicking your money last month?
I don't know why Pastor ain't do it. He ain't kicking his money. You know, he moved a little funny. You know, he ain't tell it. You know, the timeline changed. Blah blah blah. Right.
Right.
And then also, you know, you a whole family, bro.
Right.
You take my money. You gonna have to take the kids out of school. Say I'm gonna quit a job. It's you know, is it doable? Yes, but I'm saying it's a little more involved, so I feel a little more comfortable. So if AD gonna steal my $1,000, he got to take people out of school, move countries, shut down leases. It's like a whole thing. Whereas some slick, and no disrespect to, I just say up north, some slick northerner, you feel me? You feel me? From Philly on up, anybody from there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what?
Take my money and just, you know, run some game on me and bounce. I never see this dude. You know what I'm saying? So like, something about the group makes me a little more comfortable.
You got you. Listen, y'all country folks are the worst because y'all got that country hometown accent. You know, you make it feel like, yeah, if we put on down and look at here, we'll make this investment work for you. You know, you put $1,000 at the top there, and then we'll spread this out. And at the end, about 2 years, you get $10,000. You were like, ooh, that sounds nice, Mr. Country Man. You know, a couple of, you know what I'm saying? This is what we're gonna do. You don't trust it. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, this is how we're gonna do. You were like, nah, I ain't trusting that. See, you invoke. See, there you go. See that? Look at that. See that hate is real. You're right, Sam.
No, it ain't, Sam.
It's real.
The Northerners try to rush you, try to make you feel like, bro, you stupid for not taking this investment. Son, what's going on? Time is money, son.
Shots fired.
The city never sleeps. You feel me? The capital.
The streets never sleep.
All that stuff. Like, man, I don't want to hear all that, man. Run me my money and my eyelashes, man. Let's get out of here, man. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know who.
When y'all listen, when they say I'm a hometown boy, they get the country accent deep.
I don't know.
I'm a hometown boy, just like you guys. I understand. In the overall, make you feel comfortable. I'm a hometown boy. Listen, I got my $1,000 in. I just need a couple of guys to put $1,000 in. What we gonna do here?
Don't give your $1,000 to nobody.
Look here. Look right here.
There's a difference between country and southern, by the way. I just want to slide that in.
Right. You can live in Brooklyn and be country.
Country is a state of mind.
All right. So can we right there? Look at here. Right here. Look at here.
Yeah. Ashley Southern, man. She ain't country.
You've been watching too much TV.
Oh, there's a term. You know what I'm talking about.
So,
TALMBOUT. Yeah. See, in the South, we don't waste time separating words. We just put them together. You know what I'm saying? Talking about to the, you know what I'm saying? All that. It's just
you better tell them something. Tell them something. Tell them something.
Well, see, that's what I do when someone asks questions. Listen, Jerry, go and tell them something. Go and tell them something. They trying to question what's going on. Go and tell them something.
I'm like, you do realize that's 3 words that you've made. You said
what?
1 word. I'm like, you realize it's 3 words you made into 1 word.
Absolutely. Wait.
Now, listen, quick story. I was in Sacramento getting my, I used to have my hair locked up, and I was going to get my hair twisted one day, sitting in the chair, and the guy comes in, and you never buy anything from someone who's selling at the shop. But I did.
Yeah.
He came in with these laptops, nice sealed packaging.
Okay.
Nice.
And
fresh off the truck.
Right.
Yeah, fresh off the truck. And I'm looking at my hairstylist. I'm like, he's good. He's like, oh yeah, he's been in here before. I'm like, okay. I get home.
Yes.
I'm telling my wife, look, I bought a laptop. And I unseal the package. I open up the box. And my only question was, you went all the way to the extent of plastic sealing? You sealed the plastic, like you used a shrink wrap and all. You did all of that. You put all that effort into selling junk to scam people. Yeah. Like, I know it cost $150 to create this false packaging.
Yeah.
Right? But it was an investment.
Yeah. Times the 10 he gonna sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can sell it for $350
mm-hmm.
when they're on the shelf for $900.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe the extent, the distance this person traveled to do that. And what I'm saying is, when we talk about the community, you're right. You have to look at the source, right? You said AD couldn't do it because, you take my money, you got to move, you got to pull your children out of school and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that speaks more to you, E, than it does to AD. Because some other person would have been like, okay, you got me. I'll never do this with that person again. You know? And you go ask people around, like, you talking about, oh, Johnny? Oh, you should have never gave Johnny $1,000.
Yeah.
They just play it off.
Right?
Yeah. But you have to check the source, man. Because especially, it's funny being in the church. You see all kinds of gimmicks.
Yeah.
People trying to get the church to invest and say, hey, you can make money this way, make money that way. We can do this, do that. And, and so you have to be wise. You have to be discerning. Yeah, he was dedicated, Samantha. Absolutely.
Because they want your endorsement, Pastor.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, some people just want your $1,000.
Right.
Yeah. Because once again, and then you think about all these, I don't know about y'all, but I've been getting calls about my car lease expiring and everything. And they want me to renew before the time runs out. It's just some little local scam going on, right? And I was looking at like the dedication they got to it, because I'm getting called every day. All they really need is just a few people. All right, think about this. Let's say the person on the other side of that scam is the average Joe. Let's say he got a rent that's $1,200,
right?
And you scamming people for $1,000. If you called 100, but only 3 responded, you got rent covered. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see how people can make a living off of this? Right. You just got to be willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? And kind of have that kind of, bottomless heart to scam the people. But like, it's money into scamming folk. And that's why it's never going nowhere. That's why you can have a Raisin in the Sun in the 40s. And we can still be here in 2021 talking about how people getting over. Right. So, that was news to me too.
Right.
I would like to see pictures at your earliest convenience. But
you got.
I had him. You've seen the picture, right, Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never seen it, sir.
I had them down. They were down past my shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little proof. But
that was the California dude. That was the California dude.
Wow. Does regions make a difference on you trusting people?
No.
Okay.
No, because you have. I don't like using the term hustlers.
Yeah.
But you have tricksters in every region.
Right.
They come from all walks of life.
Right.
They're in Utah.
So a guy from a retired military veteran from California wouldn't go smoother than some guy from New York City.
The story may go over better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the intentions of his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be dressed in a polo shirt and penny loafers, right?
Yeah.
And I find out that have you all seen the story of this young girl that was missing, Petito, whatever her name is?
Yeah, they just found her.
Right.
Yeah. And
there were contrasting pictures, and I'm just using this as an example. She was starting a blog, and they had a picture of the van that they were supposed to be traveling the country in this van. And they had the van, it's like one of those little Sprinter vans.
Okay.
And they had the back of the van all neatly made up, looked like a little one-room apartment, looked like something that you would find in New York, a little one-room apartment, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was very neat, very cozy. And that's the picture they had on YouTube. But the camera that the police officer had on his vest that showed the picture of the back of the van the day that they got pulled over, it was just insane. It was just in shambles.
Right.
look like a bunch of confusion, right? And what I'm saying is, when it comes to these games that people play, you can come with a really dolled up picture, beautiful story, right? But behind the scenes, it's total chaos.
Right.
And you don't know until you have given your time or your sacrifice or your money that it's total chaos. But by then they're gone. Right. And that's the issue.
And you try to do as much, I think with everything, you try to do as much homework as you can. Of course, you try to check the references. And if I could, the blessing part is always like, it passed a norm, like has some outside this investment norm, like I could at least ask like, hey, what do you think of Ephraim? And he can give me the truth. Like, he's good. He's great with business. He may be late, like he's good. He's great with business. You just got to watch him, like that.
I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
With stuff like that. I'm really skeptical. It's hard for me because I've been taken so many times. Right. I've always been guilty of looking for the best in people. Right. So I've become, and I've probably missed some good opportunities recently because I'm so skeptical now.
I know. I get it. Yeah. And that's kind of what I wanted to really just tap on. We're going to get out of here in a minute, but just that, breaking through that being skeptical. Because I hear you, Pastor, because, there's those moments that you just like, I can't see it. I can't, because like I tell people, and I'm sure a lot of people heard, when crypto was at $100, you just like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it works. Like, and you're thinking in your mind, I don't want to be out $100. Knowing where it's at now, you're like, dang, I should just risk it. I could have risked my last 100. Like, we don't need to eat for a little while. This is going to be worth it. We'll eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. This is going to be worth it. But you don't know. You're like, I risked that last, and that 100 just gone. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, go back to the Enron scandal, right?
Got you.
But before that blew up, somebody made $1 million.
Because it climbed, and they were showing it climbing and climbing.
And no, I'm saying like an honest person,
right? No, you're right.
With integrity, made an investment and was able to retire.
Yes, off that moment
before it blew up.
Right, and got out. Yeah.
So there's always the question of, okay, there's no way this is legit, but can I get a hit? Can I hit a quick lick? Can I get a lick? That's
the word. Am I the first one in the scam? Because the first ones in the scam are the ones that get paid to make it look legit. Because that's what happened with Madoff. Because they wanted the money back from the folks that that were getting their money back from the newcomers coming in, out of Ponzi work. So it's great. What's up? All right, let's get ready. Thank you so much, Mama Corey. I got to get out of here. My garage people are here. Fixing the garage.
Yeah, sorry I was late, man. They, I feel like Pookie. They keep calling me. They be calling me.
So silly. All right, guys. So we appreciate you rocking with us, man. We had a great conversation. Make sure you share. Make sure you check out the podcast. And if you're in my text community, make sure you look out because we're gonna have some. I'm gonna be sending some texts out today about certain things. So make sure you join us. Text our community LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. And never miss what's happening with the brothers, the sisters, purpose, and everything that we're connected to. All right. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Be safe and continue to wear the mask. I'm going to keep saying it. Yes, I don't know. It's controversial. Why? I don't know. But continue to wear it. And we look forward to seeing you in the AM. Peace out. That's cool.
As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for hanging, being with us. Sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watch in the background that I know see this show, I appreciate